Welcome to PA Harness Week. I'm Heather Vitale, along with my co-host, Mike Bozich. And Mike, you broke your maiden on the show last week.
Yes.
Obviously, you liked it enough that you're back for more.
Yeah, they tried to keep me out of here, but they're not going to get rid of me that quick.
I love it. I love it. All right, well, you can tell from what we are wearing, it's going to be a very bright and a busy show. So let's get to the headlines. On today's show, we are putting the spotlight on the harness driver. First, we'll get you the deets on driver Todd McCarthy's big day at Harrah's Philly. We'll also catch up with top reinsman and Hall of Famer Tim Tetrick. Plus, last year's leading driver at Pocono Downs at Mohegan, Pennsylvania joins us, and that's, you guessed it, Matt Kakaley, who recently hit a big milestone. These stories and so much more next on PA Harness Week. I told you there's definitely so much going on today on the show, so let's get right into the racing action. We're going to head to Harrah's, Philadelphia from the Sunday, June 1st card, and it's a pacing event with number 6. It's Captain Skippy, who's the favorite, and he's made the most money in here so far this season. And the 5 is Skyway Houdini, who's been racing in the Midwest, but now has come to the Keystone State to compete. Let's send it up to my co-host, announcer Mike Bozich, for the call.
Heart of Dixie leads it by a length on their way to the half. Tease Raider the second is second. Social Drinker third by a length. Racing fourth, Captain Skippy. 55 and 2, 29 seconds for the quarter. Heart of Dixie leads it by a length and a half. Tease Raider the second is second. Up on the outside, Captain Skippy launching an initiative now. Social Drinker pinned down fourth. Second up to the outside, advancing now as they make their way towards that 3/4 mile station. Comes Pompeo Hanover, Skyway Houdini third up in a live flow. Blue Collar Man has been shuffled in. Victor Cruz last around the turn. Heart of Dixie, Captain Skippy, they're kicking it around. 3/4, 123 and 2. 28 for the third, and now Captain Skippy blows by Heart of Dixie. In between Pompeo Hanover, 3 wide, Skyway Houdini. Tease Raider the second dropping back. Victor Cruz from far back, but Captain Skippy's got the momentum up by 2 in the lane. Heart of Dixie second outside trying to come on. Comes Skyway Houdini. They come down to the finish. Captain Skippy driven out. Captain Skippy wins by a length.
Driver Tim Tetrick putting Captain Skippy in perfect position, floating from fourth and taking advantage of the tiring leaders to get the job done at a time of 1:53 and 1. Factoid, Tim Tetrick's got over 14,350 wins. That's 7th of all time, and over $280 million in career earnings. That's 3rd of all time. And Heather Vitale had a chance to catch up with Tim Tetrick, leading driver last year here at Harrah's Philly.
Congratulations on your 10th leading driver title here at Harrah's Philly. Now, you came here from the Midwest in 2006, the end of, it's been about 20 years that you've been in the East. Could you possibly imagine that you would have had the success that you've had here?
Well, of course not, but it's always glad to be, at the top of something, and 10 times is a good number. So hopefully it's not over and we can keep continuing forward.
Now, I heard a little story about you. I don't know if it's urban legend or it's real, and it is baseball season, so I'm going to go with it and see if it's true. I heard that you were in line to get something signed by Pete Rose once, and he recognized you in the line and pulled you aside to say hi.
He did. No, I was probably about 10 deep out of 20 people, and as we was moving up, he kept looking back, and when we got to about 10 in line, me and the wife, and he said, everybody stop, and he pointed at me. He said, hey, redhead, come up here. And he pulled me up there, and he goes, are you Tim Tetrick? And I said, yeah, and it was cool. He told everybody, get back, and we had a long talk, probably 30 minutes, and he ended up giving me a jersey and signed it and gave it to me, and he said he was one of my biggest fans. That was a cool moment.
Pete Rose, can you imagine? I want to be Tim Tetrick in my next life for sure. Now you are obviously in the Hall of Fame, and it's been a couple years now. This year you will be joined in the Hall of Fame by a wonderful lady by the name of Shartin, who you were very close with, 2019 Horse of the Year. Very deserving that she should be there.
Oh, no doubt. She was one of the greatest. She was top of her league. She still holds the world record. She's a lot of highs for me because for the connections and myself as well, and she was just a lot of fun to be part of.
To tag that interview, I have actually a really cool Tim Tetrick fact. Okay, so when Harrah's Philadelphia opened in 2006, The first leading driver was Kat Manzi. Since that first meet, there has only been 2 drivers who have topped the standings here. One of them, of course, being Tim Tetrick, the other one being George Napolitano Jr. All right, let's check out our race of the week from Harrah's, Philadelphia. It's from Sunday, June 1st, and it is our feature pace on the card, going for a purse of $11,000. And number 6 is A Fearful Intent. At 4 to 5, he has Hall of Fame driver David Miller on the bike. The 4, Semi Tough, is the richest in the field with almost $1.3 million in the bank. And number 5, Pat McGarry, has had 2 wins and a third in his 4 most recent efforts.
Fearful Intent, up by a length and a half, being stalked by Pat McGarry. Aladdin is right there. Century Heineken 4th. Moving to the outside now. Here comes Semi Tough. Better Not Talk, all set to follow that cover. 55 and 3 up the backstretch. Bit of a rating. 28 and 3 up top for Fearful Intent. Pat McGarry stalks closely second with less than 3/8 to go. Aladdin is third. Semi Tough making first over gains. Up into 4th now. Century Heineken pinned down at the doorstep of 3/4. Better Not Talk is loosely tracking cover but gaining, and Transparency last of all. And now Pat McGarry's out of the pocket. 3/4, 122 and 4, 27 and 1 for the third. Fearful Intent outside Pat McGarry. Here comes Semi Tough ranging up 3 wide now. Right behind that one, Better Not Talk. He's 4 wide. They fan out across the track. Fearful Intent, he is under heavy attack here. Pat McGarry on the outside. Semi Tough far outside Better Not Talk. Inside Fearful Intent game. Outside Pat McGarry, but consistent down to the finish. Pat McGarry, wow.
You want to talk about horses for courses? Pat McGarry absolutely loves this racetrack, notching another victory here in 151. It was the fastest race on the card, and a huge day for driver Todd McCarthy. Won 3 of the 4 features that particular day. Used a 27 opening quarter, yielded for the pocket, and then was able to win the sprint home. Won by Howard Taylor, trained by Joe Bongiorno. Pat McGarry in a sizzling 151.
All right, it is time for our first break already. But coming up, we will be going to the Poconos for more standardbred racing satisfaction. So keep it right here. PA Harness Week. We'll be right back.
Boston Rocks leading it here by a length. Still seems to be under wraps.
For real fun in real life, make it Mohegan. Make it rain. Make it pour. Make it chill. Or just make it up as you go. When it's time to unplug and get in on the action, make it Mohegan. Party on the Patio is back. Rock on with free concerts every Thursday all summer long. Learn more at MoheganPA.com.
In the world of standardbred racing, only one name is synonymous with this kind of success, this kind of history, this kind of greatness, this kind of legacy, and this kind of unparalleled promise for tomorrow. Proud of our past, excited about our future. You know the name, that one name. Hanover, the greatest name in harness racing.
Welcome back to PA Harness Week. As we showcase several of our drivers on today's show, we see that Pennsylvania is filled with incredible talent, and they bring their best to the racetrack week in and week out. However, as we know, this is a sport where risks are involved. And this past March, while we were on hiatus, the harness racing world lost one of our own, an up-and-coming star by the name of Hunter Myers.
Horse racing communities from both thoroughbreds and harness racing coming together to support Hunter and that great cause. The outpouring of support and respect shown to Hunter and his family during that time is proof that while we all work hard in the sport we all love, off the track, we come together in love for each other. From east to west, horsemen and women gathered to remember him. Let's take a look.
And now we direct your attention to the park's racing paddock, where we will be having a moment of silence for Hunter Myers, a member of the harness racing community who lost his life last week. A loss in any part of the racing community is a loss for us all. And here at Parks, along with the PTHA, we send our deepest condolences to his friends, family, and loved ones.
Hunter will be deeply missed, and we want to give a special thanks to Ashley Eisenbiel and to Chris Gooden for this incredible video as we remembered Hunter today. As we get back into the action, we have our race of the week from Pocono Downs at Mohegan, Pennsylvania. It is from Saturday, May 31st. It's the feature pace on the card over a sloppy track with a purse of $17,000. And we want you to watch out for number 4, Dublin Dasher, who's getting the most support at the windows. And that's because he's had 5 impressive races this year with 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. Let's send it up to announcer Jim Baviglia for the call.
Boston Rocks leading it here by a length. Still seems to be under wraps on the outside of first over now from Beach Bum Harley, coming up strong for George Napolitano Jr. Dublin Dasher right there in the pocket, a length back. Born in lockdown now, second over. He's 2.5 away. Then comes Trooper saving ground in the deep trailer, Ante-Up Hanover. Boston Rocks not swayed yet on the front end. He still leads at 3/4, 124-1, 28 even third panel. Boston Rocks dealing with Beach Bum Harley on his flank, while Dublin Dasher is still there in the pocket. Behind that, inside Trooper and outside Born in Lockdown, both looking to close. Top of the stretch, the lead dwindling now for Boston Rocks in the face of the charge of Beach Bum Harley. Dublin Dasher has now room now at the pylons. It's Dublin Dasher coming up with Beach Bum Harley, and Dublin Dasher, once he shook free, no stopping him. Dublin Dasher, Tyler Buter.
And the talented Dublin Dasher using a pocket trip to get the job done at a time of 152-2. It was a good first over effort for long shot Beach Bum Harley, who finished second, while pace setter Boston Rock settled for third. Dublin Dasher is owned by Alan Johnson at H.O. Racing, trained by Hunter Oaks, and driven by my Michigan friend, Tyler Buter.
All right, let's get right into another Pocono pace, as this one features all 3, 4, and 5-year-olds from Sunday, June 1st, with a purse of $15,500. The 2, J.K. Steve Spirit, is 4-5 and coming off a lifetime best victory. Second choice is number 5, I Shot the Sheriff, who is making his seasonal debut, and the 3, Cards of Flying, is the richest among this group.
It's still Cruising America at the half mile, and 56-3, 29-1 for panel number 2. A little bit of a wind helping him on the back stretch. Cruising America on top by a length. J.K. Steve Spirit boogieing up on the outside to within a half length and getting closer. In the pocket, American Warrior. Cards of Flying second over, but a bit off the cover. Then on the inside, T.H. McMurray. Third over, 6th is I Shot the Sheriff, the trailer Rufus Doofus. J.K. Steve Spirit taking on Cruising America as they get to 3/4, 123-4, 27-1 on the back stretch as J.K. Steve Spirit even with Cruising America. In the pocket, American Warrior. Cards of Flying is closing along with I Shot the Sheriff out wide, coming on strong. Top of the stretch, it's a log jam here on the inside. Cruising America, Marone asking for more. J.K. Steve Spirit right on the outside. Up the pylons is American Warrior. Late kick by Cards of Flying. Cards of Flying barreling down the center of the track.
Cards of Flying left no doubt, drafting smartly off cover and was able to take advantage of the slowing tempo to sweep past for the win. It was another long shot win for driver George Napolitano. That has been the theme over the past couple of weekends as Cards of Flying went off at 9-1. Favorite J.K. Steve Spirit settles for second, while long shot American Warrior rallied for third. Cards of Flying is owned by trainer Brittany Dillon.
All right, there is no reason to slow down now. We're going to get right into another event from Pocono Downs at Mohegan, Pennsylvania. And again, this is from the Sunday, June 1st card featuring $30,000 to $40,000 claiming pacers with a purse of $16,500. Number 4, the bettor's choice, Real Surreal, has over 40 lifetime wins to his credit. And the 6, Belmont Major, just wired the field in his most recent outing in 1:15.4.
Now on the back stretch, it's Belmont Major on top, and from third, Real Surreal will make a play for Tyler Buter. Coming up quickly on the leader here is 5/8 approaches. Intimidation has the pocket. Caliber second over, about 2.5 away. And then comes Hammering Hank. He's not too far back, saving ground, always rocking a bit removed from the rest. Real Surreal just a nose back of Belmont Major, who's trying to hold on to that lead on the inside. 3/4, 123-1, 28 even third panel. Belmont Major inside inside. Real Surreal outside. Caliber second over, getting ready to go wide, while Intimidation is right there in the pocket, hammering Hank. Only 2.5 back in fifth. Top of the stretch, still anybody's race. Belmont Major shook off Real Surreal. Now Intimidation is a threat on the inside. Outside Caliber. It's Belmont Major. Intimidation getting closer. Belmont Major and Intimidation. Belmont Major holds tight.
Belmont Major took charge right from the word go to secure the victory. Had to hold off a challenge from favored Real Surreal, but was able to get the job done, digging in to hold off fresh challenges at the end. Belmont Major, owned by Todd's Auto, trained by Lou Pena, Anthony Napolitano, the winning drive.
All right, it is break time once again. When we return, we will see an 87-year-old driver trainer teach his younger rivals a thing or two. Plus, an interview with Pocono's top driver of 2024, Matt Kakaley. Don't you dare touch that dial.
Pocono's my home, and I made it my home, and I really, really do like it here.
History. It's written by winners. At Diamond Creek Farm, we're breeding champions and rewriting the history books. Diamond Creek Farm, a cut above.
Hello, everyone. I'm Heather Vitale, along with my co-host, Mike Bozich, and welcome back to PA Harness Week.
Before the break, we had a chance to see a lot of great racing action from Pocono, and one of the leading drivers at Pocono for several years now, driver Matt Kakaley, recently notching a big milestone in his career, and Heather Vitale had a chance to catch up with Matt Kakaley.
All right, Mr. 7,000 and counting. How does it feel when you cross the finish line after a huge milestone like that?
Oh, it's rewarding. You know, a lot of work goes into a lot of those wins, and a lot of help from a lot of good people. So, yeah, rewarding and a little satisfaction for sure.
And you also got your third straight driving title at Pocono and your fourth overall. So, congrats on that.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, we all seem to have that heart horse in our life. Let's talk about Rickards Ed, because that is yours. That's kind of the horse that made you decide you were going to be in the business.
Yeah, I don't know what it was about that horse. He was just special to me. He was the best horse my parents had at the time, at least. I don't know. He just me and him had a special bond when I was a kid. I was like 16, and I did everything with him. I jogged him, I trained him, I took care of him. You know, he was my buddy for sure, and I still he's got a good home down in Florida. He's living a good life, so you know, he's special to me, and I'm glad that he's able to enjoy retirement a little bit.
Wow, so if you were working with him at 16, not to age you or anything, how old is Ed now?
Yeah, Ed's he's got to be 25, 27, somewhere around there. Yeah, he's up there.
Very cool. I love that story. All right, now you have become a Pennsylvania Harness Horsemen Association director. How's it feel to be on the board? Because it's barely been a year, right?
Yeah, it was last, you know, my term started in January. Yeah, it's good to be on the board, be kind of behind the scenes in the mix of all the decision making and stuff going on, and it's good to have a voice for the horsemen. You know, that's what you know, I wanted to do, and I wanted to, you know, throw ideas around and try to do what I can to make things a little bit better.
All right, well, we're happy to have you. Thank you, Matt, for everything that you're doing behind the scenes and on the track.
Thank you.
So, Mike, you know how I gave a little tidbit after Tim Tetrick's interview?
Yes.
Okay, I got one for the Matt Kakaley interview. Okay. Since 2010, there have only been 2 drivers who have topped the standings at Pocono Downs at Mohegan, Pennsylvania. Of course, one of them being Matt Kakaley. We know that. The other one is George Napolitano Jr. You know it. It's one of my favorite segments of the show when we make you say OMG. So, is age really just a number? Well, we headed to Cumberland Raceway in Maine, and we saw a driver trainer in action who recently put that cliche to the test. Announcer Scott Ehrlich has the call.
CBF Bantam on the outside leads it along next. Along the inside, Azariah is fighting back. A clear third, never have regrets. With an eighth of a mile to go, those pacers turn for him. Azariah has reclaimed the lead. On the outside, CBF Bantam now taking over second, never have regrets. 16th of a mile to go. Bobby Netto goes to urging Azariah, and they're home free.
87-year-old driver trainer Bob Nadeau getting the job done with his mare Azaria in a true OMG moment at First Tracks Cumberland in Maine. He's entering his 55th year as a driver, and Heather, he does it all. He owns, trains, drives, and even shoes his own horses.
What time is it? Oh, wait, don't look at your watch, okay? I'm going to tell you. It's trivia time. All right, Mike, what do you got for us for a question?
Well, Dave Pallone is the world's winningest driver. I think we all know that by now. But here's the question. How many wins does Dave Pallone have? And here's a hint. It's a lot.
Oh, great hint. Thanks a lot. All right, well, we've all got time to think about it because we're going to a break. When we return, Mike will give us that answer, and we've got an epic blast from the past. Plus, we'll tell you how you can win your very own PA Harness Week tote bag. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
For real fun in real life, make it Mohegan. Make it rain. Make it pour. Make it chill. Or just make it up as you go. When it's time to unplug and get in on the action, make it Mohegan. Party on the Patio is back. Rock on with free concerts every Thursday all summer long. Learn more at MoheganPA.com.
Some of the top horses in the sport are born and raised in Pennsylvania.
It's really the world capital of standardbred breeding. Breeders from other states locate in Pennsylvania.
It's not a hard sell. I mean, we have a whole mess of clients that send us horses to take advantage of the program. The racing opportunities have been, continue to be, and into the future are very strong here. This is where the top stallions are. A lot of the top mares are here in Pennsylvania. It's perfect.
Welcome back to PA Harness Week. I'm Heather. This is Mike, and he has something you have been waiting for, the answer to the trivia time question.
Yeah, the winningest driver, Dave Pallone, how many wins does he have? Well, it keeps going up daily, so we're not going to hold you to an exact number, but how about over 21,215 wins? That is amazing. 3,300 more than his competition. Tony Morgan currently second, Aaron Merriman currently third, and who's number 4? Stay tuned. We're about to talk about him.
Now, before Dave Pallone, there was number 4 on the list that you just talked about, Hervé Filion. Yes, still number 4 on the all-time winningest drivers list with 15,183 victories. And right now, for our blast from the past, we're going to check out one of his most legendary wins, the 1979 Little Brown Jug.
In that blast from the past, Hot Hitter went right to the front and never looked back in that Little Brown Jug victory. $88 million plus in career earnings for driver Hervé Filion, and Hot Hitter in that 3-year-old season made over $820,000 in 1979. That's a good buck.
And one of the things that made this win so memorable is that there's Hervé Filion standing on the back of the race bike, saluting the crowd and thanking them for being there that day. We never want you missing out on our show each week, but we also don't want you missing out on the live racing excitement. Let's check out the race dates and times. And we're going to start with our race days and times from Pocono Downs at Mohegan, Pennsylvania. Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday, the post times 1 p.m. Sunday, the post times 6 p.m. At Harris, Philadelphia, we have Thursday and Friday with a post time of 12:25 p.m. and a Sunday post time of 12:40 p.m.
And if you can't make it live onto the racetrack, you can wager online. Harrah's Philly, you can do so at pabets.tbg.com. If you want to wager on Pocono, you can do so at ibetmohegan.com. And as always, free past performances at phha.org right at the top of the homepage.
We would love for our racing fans to get social with us. So on Facebook, you can follow us at Harness Week. Then on Twitter, also known as X, you can follow us at PA Harness Week. And of course, we've got a YouTube channel we would love for you to check out.
And contests begin on social media this week. And we've got some great prizes.
Revealing the one for this season. Check out this tote bag. It is so great and so sturdy. It is perfect. You're going to want to win one of these. Yes. I have so many reasons to have this. This is my new bag, by the way, if you see me. So every Monday there's a new contest. So definitely check it out. Yeah, you're going to love them. Now it is 30 minutes. That's over for this week. That's crazy. It goes by so fast.
How fast?
So next week, we're actually going to be at Pocono Downs at Mohegan, Pennsylvania. So we will see you then. We're signing off for myself, Heather Vitale, Mike Bozich, and Bruce Casella behind the camera. We will see you soon.